guy. Victor, you're live.
Oh, hey.
So's your phone.
Oh. Oh, shit. Oh. Put that
Just
away.
in
Just in case. This is always sneaky like this. Just at any moment, he's like, hey, we've been recording this for the last 15 minutes. We're back. We're back, everybody. Technical difficulties happened. And we're back, Charlie Grecia. Hello.
and we're just figuring it out
Yeah, like I
one day
said,
at a time. Sorry for the crackles. Trying to figure out why that's happening.
yeah, it's all part of it. It's all part of the curve. Where's the fun if we were already, you know, at the top of the mountain?
Y'all get to watch the come up.
That's right. The underdogs. It's a better story anyway. I see. I saw some comments on what you guys wanted me to sketch up here. Something about a monkey holding a baby. How's the sign, everybody? Does it work? Back and forth a little bit. Okay, 2 requests for a monkey holding a baby. A monkey baby, not a monkey holding a baby person. Monkey person.
All right. Thanks everybody for putting up with us. Hopefully we can get the sound working even better next week. Sorry, Gracie, I know it's cutting out. Still trying to figure out why this happened. Doesn't happen on our YouTube, so I'm thinking it might restream, but
Oh,
we'll
okay.
figure it out. No, there's no music playing right now. Don't know everything except for us.
I don't know if I can hear you. Are you on? No.
Awesome. So while
Yeah.
Victor gets started on this drawing, I am going to tell y'all a little bit about this GoFundMe campaign and a little bit about this show and kind of why we are doing this whole thing. So, of course, Victor has been thinking about Bananas the show pretty much his whole life and has known that this is something that he wants to do. And when the timing is right, the team will appear and the people who are supposed to be in your life appear, and we appeared in each other's lives. Um, and we decided, hey, let's stop waiting around and let's make your dreams a reality, and let's use virtual reality and all the virtual technologies that we have access to here at Austin VR Lab to make it happen. And of course, anything that's worthwhile takes a little bit of capital and a little bit of money to get started sometimes. And we thought that we could do it the traditional way, or we could do it a less traditional way and gather all the people and beautiful people and resources that we have around us to help us create this show and make this a reality. So we came up with a pilot season for the show, and then we came up with a budget for that pilot season, and we decided to go through GoFundMe because we didn't really want to do it. Now, someone actually asked me this question today. My mother-in-law actually asked me this question today. She said, "Well, what happens if you don't raise the full amount?" And that's one of the reasons we didn't do Kickstarter. We didn't do one of these. We're going to make this show regardless, whether we get funded or not. Whether there's funding behind this, we are not living in that reality where it does not happen. It's only going to happen, and we know that you believe in us and you believe in Victor and you believe in our team here, and so that's why we've put this together. so you can help us out along the way and really be a part of it. So, for those of you who are new here, I'm just going to read you a little synopsis. I will put the link. It's gofundme.com/bananas or /f/bananas the show. I will put the link in there if Grecia doesn't beat me to it.
Possible.
And for those of you who don't know Grecia, I don't know how you don't know her. If you know Victor, Victor's beautiful wife, she is our chat moderator. So she's in here interacting with y'all, making sure we hear everything that you're saying and you are responded to, and that we can show our full love and gratitude towards. When you see Grecia in the chat, she is that part of our team, and she is a much bigger part of Victor's team, and we're all just one big happy team. In fact, my teammates here too. The reason that Jason's in the studio today, Jason is the reason that Victor and I met and that we got this whole project going with Austin VR Labs. So thank you, Jason, our magic companion, friend, and teammate. And hopefully, as more episodes happen, you'll meet more and more of the amazing people that make all of this possible and kind of make your donations go towards the creation of this wonderful and awesome project. I'm going to read you a little synopsis about Bananas the Show while Victor is drawing there. Oh, Victor or Jason, you got a shout out. Awesome from Grecia. I don't know if Lupita was talking to you or Grecia, but we'll just. Do you know Lupita? No.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Awesome.
It'd be cool if you did. I would like to hear that story. Kind of like. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hello, Lupita. I don't know who you were saying hello to, so we'll all say hi back.
Lupita, hello. She's amazing. She's an artist, super talented. Go check her out.
Nice.
Shout out.
Drop a link. We love to support.
Yes. Yeah, show us Etsy page, Lupita.
Awesome. So a little bit about Bananas the Show. Let's give you a quick rundown. Bananas the Show. It's an adult cartoon imagined by Victor Carlson as a new perspective on human evolution, seen through the eyes of a group of monkeys escaping reality only to find themselves in search of a way back. Or maybe forward? Through esoteric treasure hunts, ancient clues, scientific discoveries, and psychedelic explorations, watch these monkeys learn about themselves and, as a result, each other. Going through life can be strange, but with this group of monkeys, it's bananas. For the pilot season, we are going 3D and virtual, so there will be a lot. So the show is going to cross dimensions and all different types of animations and creation. So there will be 2D content, there will be 3D content, there will be virtual content. It's not really going to be your traditional show where it just sticks to one medium or one platform. So, of course, there will be your full episodes for these shows, but you're going to have web content, you're going to have social media content, you're going to have TikTok content. So you're going to have content for this show and these lessons and a whole story and platform spread across every social media, new media platform there is. So definitely follow Bananas the Show on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, because you will always get some kind of content from Bananas the Show. We're really excited about putting this all together, but we're also just kind of on the fly with it. We're just doing it off the top. So if you have any recommendations or if you have any feedback, of course, drop us a line. We love to hear from you. And in fact, we have an insider group. We'll get to that here in a minute, where the insider group can really put their hands and their fingerprints on this show by being a part of it. And we'll tell you how to get into that insider group. Now, so if you decide to donate to us, we're not just going to take your donation and wave hello. You get some things back. So, of course, a $1 donation, we're going to say thank you. And a $5 donation, an even bigger thank you. It'll be in all caps. And then for $20, we will shout you out on the live stream here on Facebook. and we will read your comment and interact with you. Of course, we're going to interact with everyone, but we anticipate as this stream and as this movement gets bigger, there's going to be way more of you in the chat, and we want to make sure we get to everybody, but definitely our supporters. So, of course, we'll give you a shout out with those $20 donations. Now, here's what I was talking about earlier with the Facebook Insider group. Now, this is a group of insiders who have donated $50 and who are ready to be a part of this show, showing their commitment. They're basically, it's like if you were to buy a season of a show on whether it be iTunes or Netflix, or you can't buy, but you get what I'm saying. If you buy a digital copy of the show, you're a full on supporter. So this will be the equivalent to that. But with this, you're going to get access to the Facebook Insider group, and I'll pull that up in a little bit and show you what that looks like. Now, for not much more, for $100, you're gonna get one of these awesome hats. These hats were created by Victor for this show. How long ago did you create these hats?
The hats was probably just about a year ago.
Okay.
I had a little creative.
These are
Lupita
pretty
knows what I'm
awesome.
talking about. What's that?
These are pretty awesome.
I know
Like,
they're yeah.
patchwork.
I'm super happy with how they came out.
Is this for
Um,
me or is this?
yours. It's yours. Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, I'm a hat person, so like I'm pretty picky with the type of hats and the quality of hats. So I made sure it's something that I really like, something that's really good. So you guys will love it.
I had to put this hat on because I'm gonna go ahead and share this story. This summer, I shaved my head. I like to shave my head every couple years, and so my hair's growing back, and I like to believe it's growing back at different lengths. But today, it's doing some kind of Pangea. Continents are separating. I don't know what's going on, so I was like, let me just put the hat and not subject the show to my men's hair loss.
Thank you for sharing that, Mo.
We got to give the people content.
That's right. That's right.
However it goes, and I am not ashamed to admit my faults.
We're here to all get to know each other.
Victor's blocking the donation, so I'm just gonna put him over
me,
here.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
So just give them a little point up at the donate button so they know where to click. There you go. Just click on that button and you can donate. And look, Ingresia already put the GoFundMe link in the comments. So
Nice.
definitely
Charlie.
hit that
Charlie's
button.
the man. Cool.
Awesome. 6,000 of your closest people. 6,000 friends. You have a very loved wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of close friends.
I know. She's a very special lady. Magic for sure.
Magic.
Yeah. This is something else. And the fun part too is that she really gets a kick out of the stuff that she's doing right now. The curating, the chatting, and the community aspects of everything. She's a master community manager. If that's our title. She just got that title.
Nice. You just now?
Yeah.
Master. What was it?
Master community manager.
Master community manager.
That's what she does. She just brings people together.
She's the MCM.
That's right. That's right. MCM. We're the gold star.
Awesome. And for those of you who don't know or follow Grecia, again, I don't know how that could be, but she does have some awesome stories and some awesome advice. In fact, I enjoyed her little, it was not so little story yesterday about shadow work.
Yeah.
That was, very enlightening and reminding of that universal knowledge. So maybe we can even do a whole episode for Bananas the Show on the shadow.
Totally. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is the thing. Like, the type of work that Grace has been doing for so long has such a gigantic impact on the kind of direction where the show is going. I mean, I live with a life coach. That's what she's been doing for the last 4 years. Chief marketing officer. Yeah. Chief marketing officer or master community manager. Can we? No, I don't guess you can do that here. I was gonna say if we did we'll put one on the Bananas Instagram page, a little poll to help have people vote what Grecia's title is gonna be. But yeah, so just the most powerful coach I've ever seen, and just so get to see it so close up. Uh, I mean, yeah, every day to me it's been learning something new since I met her. So I don't know if you could count the amount of ego deaths I've gone through in the last in the last I don't know how many years.
Just slaying your ego, huh?
Oh shit! Like yeah,
Yeah.
she's not fucking around.
Yeah.
She gets to it. But that's the thing. She does it with so much love that, of course, when you get triggered at times, right? Like, but it's not because of her. It's because it's true. She points out something that's like, here, you can get better at this. Or,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and obviously she uses a lot softer words than I do. And she serves in a very pretty plate. But yeah, it kind of slaps you in the face. It's real, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, so many ways, uh, so many ways, so many days, gotten better and better. Back, this has been my screensaver on my phone for so long, and I attribute that to my wife. She helps me make, she helps me become a better person every single day. That's her superpower. She does that to her communities, and it lights her up. Awesome to see.
Looks like we got another $100
Oh shit!
donation from Charles. Do you know
Hey,
Charles?
hell yeah,
Charles in here? Is
Charlie.
that Charlie? Okay. I figured Charlie and Charlie. I mean, Charlie said 100% all in, and
Uh,
then awesome.
cool. Thank you so much, Charlie. We used to work together at Tesla.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
super. This guy is a freaking genius. He, whenever it got slow in the shop, we would always chat, and the kind of experiments this guy, Charlie, if you're still here, drop whatever you're working on right now. It'll be something just like super innovative, badass. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't even know. He was working on some like drone fire extinguisher thing to help with
Yeah.
forest fires. It's just like
Nice.
crazy cool shit like that. So yeah,
Awesome. Maybe
super
we can bring
appreciative stuff.
Charlie in one day, and he can bring an invention. And
That would be cool. Yeah,
hey,
Charlie, if you're down for that.
monkeys inventing things, right? Like
Uh, yeah.
pollution and monkeys. We can have a whole episode on inventing. Maybe Charlie can help us out with
Hell
that one. Give
yeah.
us some ideas of some things he would like. Working on a drone that
See,
plants seeds with a gun.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe it could plant banana trees with a gun.
Shoot bananas from the drone. Like Tracks likes. Oh, I thought I said all of us are bananas.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
They're frowning on guns or drones shooting. Well, guns. Well, there's a group of people who are also frowning on gun shooting things, but we'll skip that episode till season 3.
Yeah.
But apparently drones shooting things are a problem too now. All
Oh,
right.
sweet. Enjoy.
I'll see ya.
Have so much fun. Cool. This is kind of coming together here.
Yeah, and so while we are let's check in over here with Victor's drawing
See if you guys can
and what we're
see.
looking like
So we
here.
got a little the Lion King theme.
Oh
that we got
yeah.
going on. The lion cliff. Is that what it's called in English?
Yeah, pick it up bring it a little bit higher.
So we got a Rafiki monkey holding up a Simba monkey.
Awesome.
And we got some guys over here. This is what I would do in my notebooks at school. I would just draw monkeys doing crazy shit like this all the time. That's honestly a big part of where the design behind the monkey came from. Just years of school and doodling.
Oh wow. So Charlie says he has a working prototype gun that shoots solid sugar balls that has actually sprouted sapling.
What?
Nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to have Charlie on the show one week.
Yeah.
Just the twinkle in Victor's eyes when he talks about you
I know.
makes me
You
want to meet you
mesmerized me
and learn about some of your inventions.
for sure.
Maybe you could bring some footage, or maybe if you, Charlie, if you have a link, I mean, hey, shameless plug that if you have a link of some video of some of your inventions and you want to throw those links in the chat, we'll pull them up and we'll play them in the background.
Go. Yeah, that's what it's all about right here. It's all just a big community. People helping people, making dreams happen. Whatever it is. Usually it's cool stuff.
All right, let's run through the rest of these donation tiers. So we talked about the $100, the VIP insider group. Not only do you get one of these awesome hats, but you get admitted into the back door of the writers' room in the VIP group. That's kind of where we talk about all these ideas and stay in comunicado with each other all week. So if you want to be a part of that group, definitely throw us a donation of $100 and we will make sure we get you in. Again, we are also working on a website. Another place where these donations are going to go is the whole production of the show. So we're working on getting a better website. We understand that not everybody uses Facebook, and some people are watching us on YouTube. Some people are going to be watching us on Twitch. Of course, we're on all those platforms. So we're going to be creating a forum on the Bananas the Show website, and we will create an insider group there as well, where we'll take the archive of the Facebook group and implant it there and build on that. So for right now, alchemy, we're going to use what we have and what we are most capable of providing. And so right now that's in with the Facebook insider group. Let me keep running through these tiers here. So the $500 donation mark. Now, here's another cool thing. It's not on the GoFundMe. We will add it. So your donations we will be keeping up with, and I believe Grecia is going to manage that. So she is going to make sure we keep track of everyone who's donated. And say you donate, you've had 5 good weeks, or you've had 5 weeks where you really enjoyed the show, so you gave $100 every week and your total donations have donated $500. Your donations stack on each other, so you're going to get the $500 credit, which is your names in the credit as a contributor and as a really special thank you. So again, even if you're just going $20 at a time, when you get to the $100 mark, so if you've donated $20 5 times, when you get to the $100 mark, we're gonna get you in the group. We're gonna get you the hat. So all your donations will stack on top of each other. So it's okay if you don't have $5,000 today to get to that business level sponsorship, because we will be putting in anyone who wants to plug, because we really got to get this show made in time for South by 2022. We got some very interested people, and we have some very big plans for pitching this show and getting it made on an even greater scale. But we are on a bit of a timeline. So as these donations come in, when we get to that $5,000 mark, we are going to be doing business sponsorships. So even if, a brand wants to participate in the making of the show, we can drop it. Like last week we talked about maybe Elon Musk and SpaceX, because we're going to be doing a whole space themed episode. So why not have some SpaceX name drops in there? And what's $5,000? Like a lunch over there at SpaceX. So your brother-in-law works at SpaceX, right?
That's right.
Victor?
That's right. He is on his way to our apartment as we speak.
Oh, so he's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Actually, I might be staying at mom's.
Yeah.
Either way, we're seeing him tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll drop the note with him to get, forward it to Elon next time they hang out.
Nice. So checking back in with Charles and his tree maker, Tree Drone. Tree Drone. Is that name copyrighted yet? So his tree drone. Oh, he has a name. Reforest Tech. Reforest Tech. I like it. Is it like you say it as one word or you say it as two? Reforest Tech.
Hey,
Nice.
Reforest Tech.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Grecia selling necklaces. I did not see that in the donation tier.
I know. Pop
But
them in there. That'd be a cool giveaway thing we can do. We just got an order full of necklaces at home today.
oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Awesome. So Reforest Tech and Gressa's necklaces. So Reforest Tech is working on the MVP as quickly as possible. Awesome. And Gressia is out there selling necklaces. So we got a whole bunch of self starters and self makers. And so we all want to be supportive of each other. If you are in here supporting, definitely throw your own plugs out there. We like to support everybody. Of course, it gives us things to talk about and it helps everyone help everyone. So, no shame in anyone's game. If you got
Ah,
something that you're working on, you want to share with us,
bring it.
bring it.
Bring it.
Absolutely. All right. So, one more tier. One more tier. And that is for an EP credit. So, if you know someone who's working on their IMDb, someone who wants to be an executive producer on a show, or someone who really wants to be a part of Banana and really wants to help make our dreams come true and make Victor's vision come true. That would be the $15,000 tier. You get your own slide in the opening credits, your name front and center as an executive producer. Now, here's the other kicker, right? So how do we allot this total amount? So every $15,000 equates to one episode. So that episode will belong to that EP. They will be an EP on the entire season, but that one episode that is there has their name on it, made possible by them. Uh, Super excited to be able to offer this tier and really looking forward to somebody reaching that tier, whether it's through weekly or monthly donations or whether it's, the one time SpaceX episode.
That's right. Yeah, that's super exciting.
Yeah, we're
Super cool.
ready.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. As this thing keeps growing, as you know, this gets action and people keep sharing what we're doing here. Like I said, because we're all doing this together. The episodes have they're thought up and they're outlined, but they're definitely not written completely yet. Like that, that's also a part of creating the show. You guys have the ability to influence
And gals.
and gals, yeah. No lines drawn here.
Right.
Everybody has an ability to influence choices in the direction of where the show is going to go, and not just that, like just big and little things. The direction of episodes could be characters. I mean, the way they look, what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
just little things. This is a lot of things we'll be doing in the VIP group on Facebook. We'll be posting things, kind of like polls, like should this character do this or that? Should he or she be? Yeah, we'll be kind of like dropping different script options, and whatever gets the most votes, whatever is most popular,
Mm-hmm.
well, is what we're gonna be going with. Uh, and we'll be doing different types of competitions or uh, what's it called? Ways for people to. I'm thinking a big aspect of any type of show is the music, right? So that's another thing. We'll kind of give a theme, we'll give a jingle, some of the tunes, and then we'll have people create the actual lyrics for the songs. So you might get your little, you know, 15 to 2 minutes or more of fame where your voice is being played in in the show as background music. So a lot of ways to be part of the show. So that's really, really super exciting. And yeah, most of all that will be allotted to the people in the VIP group. So I, I, I think we've said this before. This is definitely the favorite tier, the number 5, tier number 5, where
Yeah.
you Oh, it's 4, right? Where you get part of the VIP group.
Yeah, guest voices and Charles.
Oh
See,
yeah,
Charlie, you're
totally.
throwing me here because your name says Charlie here, and in the donation column it says Charles. So forgive me if I call you Charles, Charlie, same guy, right? Um, Charlie, yeah, exactly. Guest voices and cameos. That's kind of the plan. Like, if you have maybe some art, not everybody will be right for the role. Of course, we'll have to voice test you, screen test
We'll
you
do
in a way.
auditions.
But maybe you have a singer friend who really would like to get some exposure, and you would like us to consider their music and their voice for a cameo. Well, that insider group is where you can post that and get it to us and know that we will hear it and listen to it and give it consideration. Absolutely. And she said, "Will you please share this?" Oh, actually, that is a great segue there, Grecia. Absolutely. So, a lot of people who are donating or who have donated or maybe who want to donate and how they want to be a part of this and how they can help us even more. What helps more than every dollar is sharing this video and sharing this live stream. And if you're enjoying being a part of this chat, you don't have to stay with us the whole time. You can be in and out, but if you definitely think that we have good content here and that it needs to be shared with the world, it doesn't take much. Hit that share button. We see the memes you're sharing. If you can share those memes, you can share this stream. I just
Done.
made that up. If you, off the dome right there.
Nice shit, man. That's so good.
If you can share those memes, you can share this stream.
It's just a click.
Yeah. That should be the title of next week's show.
That's right. It will be 100% focused on sharing. That's actually a kind of cool theme.
Yeah.
There's a lot goes into that.
Sharing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Huh. All right. See, this is how ideas are made. Just toss it in the back and forth,
Yeah.
and then at some point in the middle, just egg cracks, and there you go.
Yeah.
Pops the little idea baby out.
Yeah. So I was talking about idea baby. So all right, disclaimer,
Okay.
not a flat earther. Okay?
I'm
So I
so
was
excited to
talking
hear where this is gonna go.
so I was talking to my mother-in-law and her boo thing. Today they're in town visiting and they're like, well, what are these episodes going to be about? I'm like, well, there'll be a space episode, but we're not going to be preachy. We're not going to tell people what's right or wrong, and we're going to present all the information. Like in the space episode, we might talk about what flat earthers believe, what people who believe the universe is a hologram believe, and people who know or believe that the world is round believe. And let people decide, right? That's what this show's about, is monkeys figuring things out, right? So show them everybody's viewpoint, because their show's going to have different characters, and all these characters are going to believe different things, and they will, and very much might seem like someone like a flat earther you may know, or a hologram quantum physicist you may know, or a realm magician where this is all just a realm, or some people who combine all these theories, because when you Venn diagram all the possibilities, there's a center point where there's truth. Everyone has their own truth. When we all come together, we find the truth, right? And so, in explaining this, her boothing is how I'll refer to him. He got promoted to grandpa today. She posted a picture of him with my kids and was like, "Grandpa's doing such a good job." Like, oh, he's grandpa now.
That's awesome. That's big. That's a big deal.
So yeah, I had to congratulate.
Super cool.
But yeah, so he's like flat Earth, and I was like, "Hey, give me 3 hours, and I can convince you the Earth is flat."
There's enough content online.
There's enough content out there that makes it very. Again, full disclaimer: I'm not a flat earther. I won't tell you what kind of earther I am. I'll leave that up to you. Do you want to expose what type of earther you are, or you want to leave it a mystery as well?
I'll tell you what type of earther I am.
Type of earther.
I'm a quantum earther.
Okay, it's all hologram.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's all consciousness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Should we just leave
Is
that
is
for a whole another week of episodes?
a whole week? Yeah.
That can go. That yeah. That's a whole
I
whole.
don't know if my smile gave it away, but I'm in the same place. You know,
In the same
it's
tier.
hard to put your beliefs out there because people hold you, and that's another one, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
holding you to your beliefs,
Yeah.
right? Like everyone's beliefs fluctuate, right?
Yeah.
What I believed 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't necessarily believe today. So I
Such a
don't
shift.
I don't hold on to it like this is what I believe now, so this is what I'll believe in 10 years, 20 years, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just think about science and like how science has shifted in the last. I mean, we can say the last 50 years, but let's say the last 2,000 years. I saw was it TikTok the other day. I was just talking about like how kind of silly the idea is that nothing else exists in the universe with like billions of other galaxies and I mean billions of years. Like what are the chances that there's nothing out there that's so much smaller than the fact that there might be possibly
What if there's no out there?
nothing what's out there is in here,
Right.
right?
So aliens exist if you want them to exist.
Totally, for
The
sure.
earth is flat if you want it
It is for
to be
you.
flat.
That's right.
Right. It's
100%.
what you believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's such a big concept of what we're doing here in the show is um you create your own reality. And we're gonna show that through all these different monkeys. A bunch of monkeys will have their own type of episode. So we'll really get into know we'll get to know the monkeys and we'll get to know their world. And the fun thing is that the world is obviously the same world because they're all existing in the same city.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a major event going down here in this little city. And what we're going to be seeing here in the show is what that means. Like, if, for example, death means so many different things for so many people. People take death and experience death in so many ways, and that's one of the big ones, right? So realities shift based on also so many things, based on what you're focusing your attention on, based on what your beliefs are, based on what your background, where you're from, who raised you, and what you're faced with and what you choose to do, what's in front of your face.
Yeah.
So many things. So what if we all just tie this together? Like one thing that's been really this is idea that's been on my mind for a long time is like when you're watching a movie, there is a main character, there are some side characters, there's some extras, right? But all these extras, they're just sitting there like lip syncing and a conversation in the background of the coffee shop. These are all main characters of their own lives. So, like, how much are we missing out on not hearing the other people's stories when a major event goes down, right? Like, yes, there's the main character who's super interesting, but what if all characters were that super interesting? And what if we got to really dig into that and experience all these characters and how they essentially treat or handle this the same event? And that way we get to kind of bridge the gap between realities in a very diverse world today, in a very divided world. What if we just got to see? Oh, here we go. What if we got to see? Wow. What if we got to see and experience? uh, Well, what is it? 10 episodes that we're aiming for season one. What if we got to experience 10 different perspectives of the same number of events, at least the same major events? Obviously, everybody's living different lives. They're gonna have different experiences just throughout the day. Me and Mo, we're sitting across the table, and we're having two completely different experiences right now. So what if we got to see both in detail and yeah, break it down? What is true? What are we actually experiencing? What is just an illusion? What are some judgments we're making on a daily basis that are just completely false. What are we imagining that people are thinking about us, or that they are thinking about themselves, that are causing us to view the world a certain way? When we see it from their perspective, it completely devalues our previous belief, or shifts it, or it confirms it. I think there's so much power in that. There's so much power in connecting this way, um, getting under the skin of the people that were close by. I mean, think of so many people that we imagine this. I mean, it'd be kind of cool, so like when we die, to have like a screen we can just look over all the stats in our life, right? The Here's one. What if we get to see the amount of times you met one person that you never talked to? How many times do you think that could be in a lifetime? Like, how many times has the universe crossed you with the same person, but you haven't been like present enough to notice this person? And at the end of life, you're like, oh, I never met the love of my life, or my dreams of becoming an actor never became true. What if that person was the love of your life, or what if that person was a cast member who is looking for actors? There's just I mean, feel like again, we're talking about our reality being what we see, right? What if our reality or our dream lives were just right in front of our face all the time? We're just not seeing it. So instead of going out there to change the world, all we gotta do is change the perspective, and that changes the world. Was it Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? So yeah, that's a but that's kind of where the show is at. That's what we're exploring, is different perspective from similar point of views. One in the same city, one in similar events, same major event, completely different experiences. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like this close to word vomiting for the next
Ah,
hour,
go.
hour to
It's your
two
turn.
hours. I'm ready. You got me psyched up
Oh
right here.
shit.
I want to jump into this conversation, and um I don't want to make this the Mo show.
Oh no, that's cool. See, that's the thing. It could be or could not be. Like it's
Yeah.
just.
But no, absolutely. I mean, that's very, very Kabbalistic. I don't
Mhm.
know if Victor and I, we know each other, but we don't know each other. So some of these
Yeah.
conversations between us, you're going to be experiencing for the first time, and we always just blow each other. If you ask Victor, I've been up since 5 a.m. I've been running Austin VR Lab in this business all day, and when he came in, I was I got to put my mask on. I was looking bad. Hair was doing the Pangea thing that we talked about earlier. And I was like, man, I'm just gonna sit on the mic like this and just hit buttons. And if I had to be on camera, I'll just, I'm dead. And then we get into this conversation. I'm like
Like
wide eyed,
what?
like I just had a
Woke
quadruple
you up.
espresso shots, like ready to go, and I could talk your ear off right now
Oh my
about all
god.
this.
Dude, yes. This is yeah. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that my wife and I were talking about all day every day. Like a lot of the stuff like what do you call it? I guess is the opposite of full disclosure. Is
Full
disclosure?
disclosure, yeah.
Or like
No.
when
The
like
opposite of full
yeah,
disclosure?
like she's not talking about the specifics of her client work, but in general terms, we talk about concepts and principles about what's happening in her work. And so a lot of that has helped me just to see things from different perspectives, to seeing like what are these people that she's helping or working with, supporting, uh, how are they seeing life? What kind of obstacles are they currently having? And that's one of the things that she's playing around with right now is just asking on Instagram, like, what can I help with? And people are sending in questions, and she's answering them in her Insta story. And it's just so cool to see not just the diversity of issues, if I call it that, but like obstacles is a better word, but also the similarities and how often kind of the same perspective people are having that are getting them quote unquote stuck into a point where they feel like they need to look seek out help to move on or to overcome this obstacle, this hurdle. And it's just so interesting to like see the parallels and the wherever things how all this whole puzzle of life comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I love the work.
Mm.
That's something that we've kind of talked about. Did you show her that book that I showed you?
Yes, I did.
That book, Gracia book has some knowledge bombs based on how Victor talks about you. We're kind of similar, so um,
Oh yeah.
definitely check that book out. Uh, yeah. So back to the show. Welcome to
Okay.
everybody who is tuning in and joining us. This is Bananas the Show, where we are interacting with you every Friday night around 8:30. Now we're gonna try to make this every Friday night. It's been a blast so far, the last two, and I don't see us stopping. Now this show is a couple different things. So the show is a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of coming up with ideas for Bananas the Show episodes and talking with you and interacting with you, and also helping us raise money to make the first season possible. Check out the link in the comments. We will put another comment up. Grecia, if you can help me out and drop that. Let's show you where we're going here. So GoFundMe.com/F/Bananas the Show. And you have different tiers there where you can donate. All your tiers stack. So if you give $20 a week and 5 weeks in a row, or even spread out across however long it takes us to raise this money to make this show possible, we are going to show our gratitude in some very big ways. Check out the GoFundMe page, and you will not be disappointed with what we are offering.
Thank you, baby. He's on top of it. Yeah, this whole project is just the more time we spend here and the more we get talking and the more we get to interact with everybody in the chat and on our social media platforms, the more excited I get because the potential of it, not just the entertainment of watching a really fun show, but building this community where we get to share our own perspectives and like help each other see a bigger picture of what's happening. Here we go. But yeah, to like create the ultimate archetypal characters where like they relate on so many levels and where we can pop in just little little personal experiences. Like say Monkey's waking up, he goes to have a breakfast. How can you make that scene feel like, whoa, that's me? Or like that's my wife. She does that.
I cut
Like
the wrong person out. Sorry. I meant to shut my camera off and I accidentally shut yours. There
oh
we go. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
taking over the show.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's what the community aspect of this is for, is to like create and build and connect and do this together. Like we're just the guys in front of the camera right now, and we're the ones holding the mice and the keyboards, but like this is not just our show. Like this is the community's show. This is for all of us. So yeah, it's not just the connection, it's not just the entertainment, but what's gonna come out of that? What's gonna come out of having a deeply conscious, deeply I don't even know how to word it, but just a show that's gonna reach such a deep part of you where you can relate to the people that you have previously despised, maybe. Now you can understand why this person that you just like the worst type of person, now you can learn to relate to them. What's that gonna do for you in your life? You can let go of some of your hate, or if you can drop your judgments or your expectations. Maybe you have expectations of your partner. What would happen if you got to see a different perspective? What if your friend or business partner or neighbor who's just this annoying motherfucker? But what if you actually got to see what's going on in his living room at night when he's being loud and you can't go to sleep? Like,
What is the universe trying to tell you in that
exactly.
moment?
What if it's
Absolutely.
for you? What
Yeah.
if it's happening for you?
It's all for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that internal hour. And so that's another point where um, I get into it in working with people
Yes,
is
Lindsay.
people saying, well, that's telling someone everything is their fault can borderline this new buzzword gaslighting,
Yeah.
right? Like you're gaslighting someone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've heard that a lot and explaining it to people, and not that everything is their fault, but you have to explain that to people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like for me, everything is my fault.
Yeah,
For you, everything is your fault.
that's right.
And I don't know if how long this term gaslighting has been around, but you seem to hear it a lot in this day and age. And there are people who project that onto other people. So definitely, if someone is projecting that onto you, if they're projecting it onto themselves as well, then
Mm-hmm.
you know you're in good company.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're only projecting it onto you, that it's your fault,
Yeah.
then that I get that where that term should be
Right.
gaslighting. But if they're using that same philosophy in their own lives and saying everything they're doing is their fault
Mm-hmm.
too, then that's what that's not gaslighting,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Totally. For
So that's
sure.
kind of how I explain it. So when we're telling you, or not telling you, when we're talking about
Yeah. And we're
things are your
conversing.
fault, when we're conversing about how everything is our own fault, but everything in your life might also be your fault,
Right.
that's what we're saying. We're projecting it equally onto ourselves
Yeah.
as we are onto other people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I mean, yeah, I'm a quantum person. Such a nerd, and I realized this in later years. Like, if if little Victor would have known that older Victor is reading books about quantum physics for fun, I don't know what he would have thought about me.
Yeah.
But that's my life now. Like, I'm just so fascinated by the smallest and the greatest perspectives, because as within, so without, it's all the same, right? Like, what if a cell is just, what if a cell is a planet in another galaxy? What if, what if our galaxy is just a cell in an even bigger organism? Like, I mean, it is if we want it to be, I guess, right? So, yeah, talking about perspective and talking about, yeah, see, my mind is working so much faster than my mouth is. I'm already on the third conversation after this current one. Um, let's just jump back to victimization. The whole concept of blaming your circumstances on other people. There's absolutely an aspect of life that, it happens to you. You have no control over what just happened, right? But what you do with it is 100% your responsibility. And here now, if we jump out of the this small individual person perspective, and we go to the bigger picture, like, aren't we the whole entire world? We're not just this body. What if we identified as consciousness? Because when we die, we know what happens. Like, we die and the body stays, but we still say they're gone. So what part of us is leaving, well, we could say it's the soul that leaves. So if we identified with the soul instead of the body, then how does the soul connect with other souls? Where is that? I kind of think of it like a lamp. Like the actual lamp and the bulb is the body. And then the light in the bulb that goes through the cord, or like say the cord through the plug, is the soul. And then the plug, the electricity, is spirit, that's consciousness, right? So we're all connected through our souls to this bigger pool of spirit, of consciousness. So in the end, we're all consciousness, and it's the same consciousness. And that's like in where religion, in my point of view, talks about the same God. It's just one God, is one consciousness. There's only life. Like every living organism, which everything that exists lives because it is. We're experiencing it. So it might not be breathing, it might not have a heartbeat, but it's still moving. It's still consciousness that's organized this quantum, all the quantum particles, and keeps it in play. So in the bigger picture, we're all just consciousness. So now going back to the victimization, if I know that I am spirit, I am consciousness, then everything, even the stuff that I have no control over, I have control over. I am that too. Kind of like they're talking about, people that getting car accidents a lot, like people that getting multiple car accidents, is because somehow, some way, they're attracting that into their lives, right? And that's just one example. I mean, manifestation, if we take that out to a greater perspective again, it's because you're aligning yourself with, in my perspective, you're aligning yourself with consciousness. You're aligning yourself with the observer of the observed, the stuff that's underneath everything we're seeing, experiencing on the in the sensory world, in the 3D world. If we connect with ourselves on a spiritual level, on a soul level, that's where we can start organizing all the quantum that creates the 3D world, right? So that's how we manifest. And that's how ultimately everything that you're experiencing is you, and it's your fault, or because like you made it. Like all your successes too. Just the bad things that are happening. That's just maybe more talked about in some ways. But all the good things too. All the all the miracles that happen in your life, you made that happen. What if we play with that perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this kind of links in here to Gracia asking what is a quote you live by,
Mm.
and mine is I am.
Mm. Oh.
Everything that happens, I am. Like I am that. I am that person I love, and I am that person say I don't love, but I do love because I manifested them into my life for a reason, to teach myself something, whether it is to bring in someone I don't like closer, or set boundaries with people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or situations. The same thing. Like just because you manifest something that may not be good, that's because you're trying to teach yourself a lesson of boundary. But everything is you. That's why the greatest verse in all the biblical texts, right? Like when Moses speaks to God, is like, "Who are you? I am."
Mm.
Now, was that now that I am is left to interpretation? Was that Moses speaking to himself? Was that God speaking to Moses? Was that Moses speaking to God? Like it can be seen from every perspective because
Yeah.
it's such a simple I am,
Right.
you are, and everyone is what they say they
Right.
are.
Sure. I am. Yeah. So there's no disconnect between God and Moses and me and you. I am that I am. I love that quote.
What's yours? Do you have
I
yours
was
off top,
thinking,
or you want to
I
come
mean,
back? You want to circle
the one I
back?
was saying earlier, um, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Mm-hmm.
It brings it back to perspective, and yeah, I'm just a perspective person, which is kind of why I'm creating a whole entire cartoon about perspective. But
Yeah.
yeah, perspective.
Yeah.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
That's kind of where I think we connected on. I know we've been not necessarily talking about Bananas the show, but we have been
Yeah,
talking about Bananas the show, is that perspective, and I think that's where we linked, because we're not going to preach on what's right and what's wrong, and we're not going to go anti perspective on people. We're just going to talk about what they're for, right?
yeah,
Or any religion or philosophy or way of thinking. We're not going to talk about the differences. We're going to talk about how they're all alike,
yeah, or both.
but
Definitely both.
from a different perspective.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do people believe what they believe?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me in the past, before doing my research and the work, I had a hard time understanding religion overall. I grew up in Sweden. If you didn't know, I'm born and raised in Sweden. It's not, it used to be, not anymore, a religious country at all. I had no spiritual background whatsoever. It's just kind of like you're you're alive. God is a religious thing, and it's
Yeah. All of
like
Sweden's like that?
I wouldn't say all, but like none of my friends growing up were religious.
I saw a Swedish cafe downtown. Sorry, I know I'm
Oh,
just
really?
yeah, it was on 6th Street. I was gonna ask you. I
Oh,
just
sweet.
popped in my head. Sorry, I know I'm going off
That's
on a
okay.
tangent.
I'll have to
It's
take
on
that
6th
down.
Street. It's like something Swedish cafe. It's on West 6th.
That's super
Looks
cool.
super cool. Didn't know if you knew about
I
it.
did not. I'm
Okay,
definitely gonna have to go.
awesome.
Cool. I'm
Sorry.
hoping they have some good Swedish stuff.
But all of Sweden's like that, so like no
Like,
churches and like
so
people
that's the
don't.
thing.
Yeah.
If you go out to the countryside and stuff, like there are churches everywhere.
Okay.
They used to be highly religious, like a
Mhm.
Christian country.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know the history. I'm not gonna speak into it. But it just dropped. Like generations ago, my parents aren't religious. Their parents, like I would say maybe 50% of my grandparents were
Mhm.
somewhat religious, and then their parents were probably religious. So it's like it's been a few generations already where it's just not a thing.
Where do they get? Where did you get your morals and ethics?
A good question. For me, I think it was just like,
Sorry, not your morals and ethics. Everybody has morals and ethics. Where
yeah,
did you get your lesson from?
dude, that's the thing. Like I didn't understand life,
Mhm.
I feel. And so to bring it back, like what started me on my journey was my sister passed away in 2000 when I was 9.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was 9. She was 7. Uh, and that was when I started asking questions. I started asking questions like, what is life about? Why are we here? What happens after death? And I felt like I was kind of an outsider asking those questions because nobody had any answers for me. So I just had these questions that are just like so alive in me, but I had no answers. And so I think that's kind of just why I went on the journey that I went on. I mean, moving to the other side of the world as a 17-year-old, as an exchange student, just to see what was there. Like, I moved to the States, to California, and I spent 11 months as an exchange student and just got to experience a new point of view. And yeah, it definitely unlocked things. I met people that were religious, that were spiritual, that had answers, and now I got to meet people with very diverse perspectives. Some people that had like very old school religious views of things, and some people that had very like new age spiritual answers to these questions. So I I wasn't domesticated, which I'm like so grateful for to not have had that experience where like beliefs were kind of forced into you or into me. I really just got to sit down and be like, what do I believe? What do I feel in my gut or in my heart to be true? Based on my experience, what do I want to be true? Like, is God all good or is God a type of God that punishes people? Like that just makes no sense to me. So I'm just gonna choose option A. So I
Mhm.
kind of just got to write my own book in that sense, my own spiritual text, and be like, these are all my beliefs. So it's just been trial and error,
Mhm.
and meeting people and getting to see or explore people's perspectives and dig into people. So like I also had the privilege of living with a lot of people, like really close. Having been an exchange student, now you're moving in with a family and you're becoming part of the family. It's not just like going on vacation somewhere, or it's not just like spending the night at your buddy's house for even a couple of days or a week. Like you're living with a family for a year, so you're really getting to know them. And then when I came back after a few years, I moved back to the States to go to college. Now I moved in with my friend who, um, yeah, my friend who lived at home with his mom, who and his mom still owns a daycare that they ran from home. So like now there's a whole range of other people, new people that I'm like living with on a daily basis and connecting with, and like again, you're getting a whole new worldview. And so again, I get to start over. Now I get to add on to my book and be like, okay, these are the things I like about what these people did. These are the things that are like contradicting. So I have to kind of make sense out of this. Um, and some things I could just throw out because I found better ways to look at it. And then again, I met my wife, who is Mexican American, right? So that's a whole new culture again. And like I just had such a privilege, I feel, in that way of having lived with so many people in so many from so many cultures and so many super extremely diverse backgrounds. Like I feel like that's my superpower in like knowing perspectives firsthand because of having experienced it. And that's the motivation behind the show is like I want to help the people in Northern California see what my wife's family from South Texas sees. Like, because I understand where it clashes. And I agree with them both. And I also disagree with them both because the truth is in the middle, right? Like you were saying earlier. It's a, what do you call it? A
A
Venn
Venn diagram.
Venn diagram.
Yeah, where like the two circles
That's right. The
overlap.
Vesca Pisces.
Yeah.
Yeah, the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's um I forget what the question or the prompt was there.
Yeah. No, it's Gracio's loving the conversation, and so am I. And
Yeah.
I hope the rest of you are. Our live viewership is going up and down. Again, we are doing this show to raise money for Bananas, the show to produce 10 spectacular episodes so that we can pitch them to all the networks. But we first need to show proof of concept. So that's where this is coming from.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. So every now and then, let me go ahead and my name's Mo. You're going to hear me pull Victor in and out of these segues to remind y'all where we are. But again, we understand that, some people can't donate financially, or some people have reached their limits to what they can donate on our GoFundMe. We'll put that link up for you again. But if you could just share this stream is public. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. Um, please just every share counts as
Hmm.
because I mean just look at it as like every share is like helping us donate $5, $20 because it's going to get to someone who really needs to hear this and really wants to be a part of it. And so we're not only happy to have you here, but you know it's a different season. Friday nights, Austin's kind of like closed right now. So what are people doing? I know even if it was open, Victor and I like we wouldn't be going out. We are new fathers, so maybe
Brand new dads.
yeah. So we were like, well, what would we want to watch and what would we want to be a part of and what should we do? And so this is what we came up with.
That's right.
And I'm so glad that you have joined us and so grateful for this opportunity that you are letting us bring this cast to you and be a part of your Friday night and get in that chat.
Yes.
We'd love to be a part of your Friday night, and we'd love for you to be a part of our Friday night. and see where this conversation takes us. Now, um, this conversation has been awesome. I'm just going to do another segue real quick. At the beginning of this show, if you've been here this whole time, we did have a sketch request
That's right.
of one of the monkeys holding a baby monkey. Now, here is another thing. We have not named the characters yet, have we?
No.
Okay, so these characters still need names, so you will just hear us maybe refer to them as the monkeys. There is another part to this show. Let's see, what time is it? If we have enough time to get into it, we do.
9:52.
We do have some time. So a part of this show is the virtual aspect. Now that's up to you. You just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you want to go in. We don't even have to go into VR today. I mean, we are virtual technically right now. We are here on your computer or on your phone. Love it. You are so creative.
Thank you, my love. I just now read Charlie's quote there. If you not bend, you will break. Yeah. Survival of the fittest. It's not about being the strongest or the fastest or the biggest. It's about being most adaptable. I like it. I like it.
Oh, she
Close up.
needs a close up of.
Me. I even put a little Simba over here. He's like, what the fuck, bruh? My role. Lion King inspired.
I think the story here is if you're going to show off your baby, show your baby off in the best way possible. Hang them over a cliff and show the world and be
Yeah.
proud in the sunlight. Everything great happens in the sunlight. The most light, the most visibility.
Yes.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, how we're light,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and how we are not only light, but we absorb light, right? And I mean, we can get into it.
Let's go.
All right.
All right.
So
Turn
I was,
the background back on. I like
right.
the.
Right.
That's how you know we're getting into it when you got the background going here. And the,
Yeah. Oh, you want to go to the
yeah, that's how
other.
you know. See,
Oh,
here, go.
here we go.
Bam,
There it
bam.
is. Boom. All right. So y'all might have seen it earlier when I was switching. So this is a visual that I found like I think a couple years ago. I don't even know how old it is. I'll let you read the title yourself. You can find it on YouTube. It's a great background if you ever want to put it up there again. Read it.
Most realistic. Oh, okay. DMT to us. Cool.
So
Cool.
it's a visual that I found that's a good background. So if you ever need a background for anything, feel free to use it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Look it up. Give them some views.
Yeah.
Share it.
Help.
Awesome. So, Gracio's welcome. So, okay, so we're talking about light, right?
Yes.
All right. So you can do an episode on light, right? Sunlight. The most ancient, right? So we are. There's this doctor on Joe Rogan, right, talking about how we are, our brains, our eyes are a part of our brain. It's a part of our brain that's pushed itself out of skull and it's like looking around, right? Like so, it's our brain. Like that's you can when you're looking at someone's eyes, you're looking at their brain. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So when we look at light, so those of you who don't know about the pineal gland, go do your research. The pineal gland, has a lot to do with kind of what this backdrop, what we were talking about. But the pineal gland is an amazing, amazing thing. And if you're in tune spiritually, like we lost like 3 viewers on our pineal gland.
That's okay. The ones that want to hear it, they stayed.
It's okay. All right. So when you absorb light and when you're looking at light, your pineal gland opens up. So ancient civilizations, they would sun gaze. They would look at the sun. And when you're looking at the sun and in the morning and you're outside and you're absorbing that light, you're connected to nature. And battery is my personal battery is low here. Um, right. So you're staring at the sun, you're absorbing that light, and you're waking up, and you're more in tune
Mm.
with nature. And so, what did they start doing? They started worshiping the sun because they started associating that with God because it was opening up their pineal gland, right?
Yeah.
And so you think about light, and you're like, okay, well, what came next? And it was fire. And well, what did they do with fire? Well, they went in two different directions with it. They went into the darkness to illuminate it,
Mm-hmm.
and they also took the fire into their temple. And the ancient Vedics would stare at flames and that flame, and then they would concentrate on the spirit instead of the nature. They concentrated on the spiritual realm through the flame, and it opened them up to God
Mm.
and to the concept of bringing light to darkness,
Yes.
right? And so that's light. And so you're like, okay, so that light worked, right? And then what happened? What was the next form of light? Then you get to the light bulb. You have Thomas Edison, who harnesses electricity and puts it through a bulb, and it gets mass adoption, right? Of course, Nikola Tesla and all that. So we can do a whole episode on that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
just Thomas Edison and the light bulb. No one can deny what the light bulb did for humanity, but we're staring at light,
Mm-hmm.
and we're staring at electricity creating light. And then the technological electrical boom happens, and we come up with gizmos and gadgets and electricity because we're absorbing light through electricity. And so that's where we're putting our focus. We're putting our focus on technology.
Mm.
So then, what's the next source of light people start staring at? Television set. Television set comes, and now whatever's coming through that television set and that light, and maybe, just maybe, the people who created the television set already knew what light does
Mm-hmm.
and knew how to access people through light. And so what started coming through the TV started being adopted by the masses and started changing. So when your pineal gland is open, doesn't necessarily mean you're a broadcaster, but you're also a receiver, right? So it's whatever you're placing your focus on when the gland is open, when it's producing and receiving the signal from the source. And so when your pineal gland is moving and it's absorbing what you are where your intention is. So what happens? Like, not so you had sun gazing, worshiping sun gods, and then you had the flames and the temples and the war parties, and then you had the light bulb and electricity and technology, and then TV happened, and people are looking at the light through the TV, and it's not necessarily the TV itself, but the content
Yeah.
that's coming through the TV, because TV can be used for good or bad,
Right.
right? Television and screens can be used for good or bad, just like everything. I wouldn't even want to say good. It's either good or I don't want to say bad. I want to say either good or the absence.
Yeah.
I think tangent. Oh, we lost the background. We'll get it back.
We'll come back.
We're in the darkness.
We're
We're
in the
bringing.
void.
We're in the void right now. So we're bringing light to the darkness. So let's go back on that. I'll get back to the good and lack of good. Remind me to get
Yeah,
back
yeah.
into that because that's a whole other thing we can get into. Uh, so absorbing light through the TV. Now here's a really interesting perspective, right? So if humans were to just go away instantly, and an ancient civilization came to study us and they walked into our home, they would say that each of these rooms, almost every room, is centered around a TV. They would think we worshipped our TV,
Oh,
right? Like if you go into a living room, like it used to be the fireplace,
yeah.
right? And so even in house designs, like the fireplace is the
Oh, it's
centerpiece.
good.
And how many of those centerpieces in living rooms in the home have changed which way the couch faces the so much so that you can still see it in houses where house is designed to face the fireplace. So people put their TVs
Above it.
above their fireplace
Yeah.
because we're attracted to the light.
Yeah.
And we're attracted to absorbing and
Mm.
opening our pineal gland and accessing, right? And so let's step one step further. What's the next source of light that we are attracted
I guess cell phones.
to? Our phones.
Right.
Exactly. And so these phones, and we open ourselves up to whatever we're allowing to come through.
Mm-hmm.
So again, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Google, whether it's any type of social media, and it's not necessarily the platform, it's what you're consuming through the platform. If you're consuming politics, then your mind is going to be trapped in that realm. Or if
Yeah.
you're and which side of politics are you consuming? In which I mean, we're kind of, in the US and our politics here, but there's politics going on all over the world, and and that's why social media is toppling governments. Not social media, the light, and
Yeah.
where you're placing your attention when you're absorbing light.
Super deep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I hope y'all follow that. Now
Oh.
you
Yeah.
told me to get into it, so I
They're
just
they're
kind
with
of
us here. Yeah.
yeah.
We're sitting
I
in the
just
void.
I just started going. We are
This
in
is
the
super
void,
interesting.
bringing light to the darkness. So it's important to be conscious when you're absorbing light, when you're in the void and you are trying to fill the void. What are you filling that void with?
Mm.
Are you filling it with goodness, or are you filling it with the absence
Mm-hmm.
of goodness?
Mm.
And just like there is no darkness, there's only the absence of light.
Yeah.
There is no cold, there's only the absence of heat,
Yeah.
right? There is no bad or evil, there's only the absence of good,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so one of the things that ancient scriptures, when you were talking about earlier, I'll segue back
Yeah.
to God and a lot of scriptures. I'm a student of scripture,
Same.
and they talk about the wrath of God, right? God gonna punish me, and I feel like they get it. Don't And when they say be fearful of God or be fearful of the wrath of God, when some translations translate that way, I see it, and this is a more orthodox way of seeing it, is don't fear God, fear the absence of God.
Yeah.
Fear moving away from God,
Mm.
right? So the further you are from God, the less good you will have. It will feel like evil and bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the closer you move, and this is a personal belief, don't have to adopt it for yourself. You can trial and error it the way we all do
Totally.
every day. And the closer you try to connect with the source, and again, even with the term God, some people might hear it differently,
For
which
sure. I've
tune
been
into
there.
Bananas the show, because we're going to go
We're
over
going all the way, every way,
go over
every
that.
direction here.
Yeah. So yeah, so the concept of God, of like being with God
Mm-hmm.
and being without God.
Yeah.
And being without God is what people refer to as bad or evil.
Mm-hmm.
I refer to it as not
Right. Or just the void.
the void,
Right.
where
The
we're sitting
void.
right now.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's where ultimately everything comes out of, right? It's an interesting thing. Like, I've been studying sacred geometry lately, playing around with the flower of life, creating some flower of life artwork, and just learning about the origin stories of how consciousness created itself in a way. It started in a void. It wasn't nothing. It was not nothing. Like, you can't even describe it. It was just void. And then, but that void is consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't escape consciousness. That's all there is. Uh, and then basically, I'm gonna have to make this into some kind of like 3D, or like I have to draw this out to like really paint the picture. But ultimately, consciousness becomes aware of itself, right? And now you have the first sphere of the flower of life. And ultimately, when consciousness knows this much about itself, well, the only thing it can really do is move to the edge of what I know about myself, and then create another circle, and then move to the edge, create another circle. And ultimately, this is what happens to where the whole entire flower of life is created. And there's parallels to Christian origin stories. I mean, ancient Egyptian mythologies, origin stories. It's amazing how the parallels click here. Uh, and yeah, like at the end of the day, if the void and all of the light is still just consciousness. And like you're saying, the in the void is the womb. It's where everything comes from. That's like same thing when we talk about it on a more 3D level, like for us human beings on planet Earth. The void could be seen as some of the darkest times. Talk about World War II, for example. Like after that, we've been in the void. We've been in the darkest dark.
Talk
We've
about
seen
2020.
yeah,
I mean,
we've seen some of this darkness.
some of us of the light, we've been in the light, and
Yeah.
not trying to rub it in, but like 2020 wasn't a bad year, but we saw what was the darkness other people were getting
Yes.
sucked into,
Yes.
and you can hear all. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
you can
go.
hear all the stories about World War II,
Yeah.
and those are just stories, but we kind of saw it slash maybe some of us are seeing it happen,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the void we want bananas the show to fill for you, is to come back to the light and be a part of this conversation.
That's
And so
right.
definitely jump into the chat here
Yeah.
and let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and how we can use this show to not only help you but help the other people who might be stuck in this void.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pop in with questions. Pop in with your guys' perspectives. Yeah, because just to wrap that one up, so World War II, what happened after World War II? Countries come together. We start working together. United Nations was created. Like so much light comes out of the void. Life starts in the void. Like the womb of the mother is dark in there, and then the baby is born into the light. Like
Mm-hmm.
the darkness, like you're saying, it's not bad. It's just the absence of light. So sometimes we just have to enter the void in order to for something new to be born. Like death, you can see it as the end, or you can see it as the beginning. It's just perspective. It's both. It's neither. Whatever you decide, however you decide to look at it. And it's interesting too when you talk about like that parallel of, um, you know, light being or darkness being the absence of light. As you get closer to light and you get so close to the source that everything you see around you is it's the radiance of the source. Like the closer you get to the source of light, now the shadows kind of disappear. Like there aren't any obstacles to put. If I can put some shadow on my face, like there are like when the light shines around all angles of all obstacles, there are no shadows anymore.
Well,
There's
you're
no
in a
darkness around.
light-filled room
I
right now.
know this
Yeah.
is like for sure, and I'm
Um.
still sitting in front of the void.
Yeah. You're in the void, but you're in the light-filled room, and
That's right.
so
I'm
that's
the
why you
light.
couldn't create a shadow right now on top of you, because
Yeah.
we're full of light around
Yeah, I
here.
got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we do have a two comments in here that we have to get to
Let's go.
real quick. Lindsay said, "Ooh, can we jam on this in person soon, please?"
Yes.
Absolutely, of course. If you're COVID free and you're in the Insider Club, or not necessarily in the group, but Victor Grecia, we do have nights where we're gonna have people over safely.
Uh-huh.
For those of you who might be concerned, we will do it safely, and yeah, we can totally have like jam sessions here
Yeah.
and do live casts here with more than just Victor and I. Like we're just testing this out, so when we can do this with a lot of people and
Yeah,
we want
definitely.
everyone's energy and love, that's the segue to the second comment, because Grecia was not going to let us talk about God and not about the love of God and
Mm.
love for each other, and how
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, the way I look at it is love is a synonym for consciousness. Love is a synonym for the light, for light. Light, consciousness, love, same thing. So if we look at hate or all shadow aspects, right? The things that show up in the shadows, like jealousy or hate, or I mean, all of those.
Mm-hmm.
um, it's the absence of love. It's the absence of connection with the source. So again, when we look at the perspective of consciousness being all, and we know that we are consciousness, if we look at something or someone else without love, if we say we hate something or dislike something, we're seeing a shadow of ourself. We're seeing a shadow inside consciousness. There's an obstacle inside consciousness that's casting a shadow, and the shadow is the hate. The shadow is the jealousy. The shadow is the unknown, right? So again, it's just a little block that's missing light. So yeah, love is all there is, except when it's being uh, I'm not gonna say blocked, but it's being obstructed. Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an obstruction
Mm-hmm.
between the light and the observer, right? Because as consciousness, we you can think of it again: consciousness, light, love, the observer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's more of an active role, right? When you're observing your creation, and I mean that's what I love about the whole idea of creating a cartoon, creating a world, creating characters, because ultimately I am all these monkeys God.
Mm-hmm.
Never even played with that idea to have. We'll get into that later. But yeah, like I'm creating these. I'm this whole story world's God because
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating it. So like, I dropped the ball. Um,
Oh, I can jump in at any
yeah,
moment if you
go
want
for
me.
it. Go.
Okay. So love, right? So we're
Yeah.
talking about love and what is love and how do we explain it, and we will get into a future episode that we'll talk about the tree of life and the
Yes.
Kabbalah and how our thoughts and our feelings leave the tangible realm and go into the intangible
Oh,
and
that's where
come
I was
back
going with
down.
it.
Yeah.
Can I jump back?
Okay, yeah, jump back in it.
Imagination, right? Like that's where okay, that's where it was. Consciousness and the observer, observing your creation.
Yeah.
So yes, as human beings, we're seeing the world through our eyes, right? But if we close our eyes, we can still see, right? If you think of a red apple, I can clearly see a red apple.
The imagination.
It's imagination.
Yeah.
So that's how we create the ideal world. That's how we create solutions to obstacles. That's how we create a better world. It's first through imagination, and then we can bring this imagination through different ideas, different perspectives coming together, seeing how can we remove this uh, obstacle that's casting a shadow in here. We need just something to reflect the light onto this side of this boulder. We just need ways. Yeah, the imagination is what does that, and that all lives in every single one of us. So like that could also be another synonym for love, is imagination, right?
That is the to me, and so I'm a student of Kabbalah, and so that's what I was going into. So your thought, starting from how you give to how you receive in your
Yeah.
interactions with God, and I can do a whole slideshow. I can talk for hours on this subject. So I'm gonna give you the Cliff Notes version. So your thoughts move to your feelings, that move into your third eye, which is what is the bridge, the Teferet, how they say, between the tangible realm,
Mm-hmm.
this, and the intangible,
Mm.
your imagination.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of levels up here too, and we'll go over those levels one day. Tune in to Muhammad's school of Kabbalah. And so, but where I place love in there, right, is the feeling.
Mm,
So your thoughts to your feelings, and then that's what bridges up into the Teferat and takes you to
yeah,
the intangible realm.
cool.
And so a lot of, not a lot, people, some, whoever, uh, allow their feelings to control their thoughts when the energy flow goes the other way. It goes from your thoughts to your feelings, and you can change that thought
Mm,
from anything else into love and access the intangible realm to what we were talking about, to that heaven on earth, that utopia, that perfect world,
mhm.
what you actually want to happen, versus taking a thought or a feeling that's not love and trying to access the intangible. So I
Yeah.
won't call it hate, or I won't call it anger or anything, but anything that's not love, if you go into the
Mm,
intangible realm with it, that's what you're going to receive back.
yes.
And so the only way to change how that reality is manifested, that portal or bridge to the intangible, what you receive back and what you're able to and that's what this game is what you can go into the intangible realm and bring back to the tangible realm.
Yes.
And you can only make that jump and get good with love.
Mm, mm,
And so that feeling of love, and so that's why not only shadow work but thought work,
yeah.
your thinking changer, and that's where the law of attraction and the secret and the think your world into
Mm,
existence, and it all comes from that ancient rule of you change your thoughts, which change your feelings. And if once you can figure that out, you can access the intangible and bring back into this world whatever it is you can come up with out
yeah. Oh,
there.
I love the parallel and how Gracia words this or breaks it down is God's will. God is love. Will is thought. We think with or we will with our thoughts. So God's will is our loving thoughts.
Yeah.
Is exactly what you're saying.
That's what we receive, right?
Yeah.
And but that's what we also have to give, right? Because we may
Yes.
not always feel love
Hmm.
consciously, but it's the choice to choose to feel love,
Right.
right? When we know what love is and we project that out, because we can receive, right? But what can we give?
Hmm.
Get
Hmm.
there.
Yep.
And it's what do we give back? So it is, yeah, Gresser, you're right. It's that two-way street
Yeah.
where it's a giving and a receiving of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good shit. This is interesting.
I know she wants to be here and on the mic so bad. She's ready.
Oh my
We're gonna have to
gosh.
get another mic for
I
Grecia
know we do.
and a babysitter.
I know. For sure. Gracia and Krista will have to take turns.
Oh yeah, I can feel her through the ether, just like give
I
me a
know. Oh
microphone.
my gosh.
I'll watch
That's super
Ava. We
exciting.
can take turns, Grecia. You can come sit in. I'll
There
teach
you
you how
go.
to run this,
Yeah.
and then you can come sit in the seat, and then I'll go watch Ava, and we can switch back and forth.
That would be great. That sounds awesome.
Awesome.
Super
So
cool.
we are we're there. I mean, we're in a
Oh
place
shit.
where we are grateful and
Mm.
we are loving and we are thankful that you joined us Friday
So
night.
grateful. So
Bananas the
thankful.
show.
What's that?
Victor? Oh, sorry. I
Sorry.
thought you were about to.
No, I'm
I was
feeling the
just
gratitude.
segueing it for you, like hops, like jump in here.
Oh,
See, I told you she's ready.
that's right.
She's ready.
Hell yeah. Giving and receiving are the same vibration. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you were saying because I was just overwhelmed by that gratitude you brought to my focus. I'm so grateful for this, for sitting here, for seeing this on my screen, people interacting, 104 comments in the chat. Like, I love you guys for being part of this. You're making my dreams come true, and I truly believe that together we can bring the world from a void to the light through what we're about to project out of your screens.
Yeah. And yeah, we screen. Yeah.
Right. To like segue back to the
Yeah.
previous conversation,
Yeah.
right?
Bananas the show is why we're here.
That's right.
Not just Muhammad's philosophy hour
Well, that's a
and,
big part of
big
it.
Muhammad and big. I mean, I guess this is Muhammad and Victor's Philosophy Hour, and I assume next week it'll be Muhammad, Victor, and Grecia's
Yeah.
Philosophy Hour.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, uh we are so happy to be able to do this for you. You know, the uh the love that's here, it's only going to grow, and with every share, like, whatever you can do to help us, and we can't wait to help you. And so whether that's through sharing, whether that's through donating time, resources, whatever we can do to make this more real is what we are intend to do
Yeah,
with love and gratitude.
for sure. For sure. So much love back to everybody. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for donating. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right.